Have you ever walked into a room and felt completely invisible? Like everyone else just knows how to connect? Here's what nobody tells you. The people who seem naturally magnetic aren't born that way. They're using 5 specific techniques that make others want to talk to them first. But here's the twist. The most powerful one is something you're probably doing wrong right now. And I'm saving it for the very end because once you fix it, everything changes. I'm going to show you exactly how to make people notice you, approach you, and actually want to start conversations without you having to force anything or fake confidence. You'll understand why you've been invisible and exactly what to do about it. The final technique is the game changer, so stick around because that's where the real magic happens. Let me start with something that changed everything for me. I used to sit at coffee shops, scrolling through my phone, waiting for someone to notice me. It never happened. I'd go to parties and stand in corners, hoping someone would start a conversation. They didn't. I thought maybe I wasn't interesting enough, or funny enough, or good-looking enough. But then I discovered something shocking. Let me start with something that changed everything for me. I used to sit at coffee shops, scrolling through my phone. When you walk into any space, people make a judgment about you instantly. Not in minutes, not after talking to you, in 3 seconds. Most people do what I used to do. They walk in with their head down, eyes on their phone, or scanning the floor. They think they're being humble. However, what they're actually doing is sending a giant signal that says, "Don't talk to me. I'm not available. Leave me alone." They walk in with their head level, not up like they're arrogant, just level. They look around the room calmly. Here's what magnetic people do differently. Like they belong there. Therefore, people see them as confident and approachable. But here's the part most people miss. Yo, do you want to join our game over there? Sure. The eyes. When you make eye contact with someone, even for just a second, and give a tiny smile or nod, you're opening a door. You're saying, "I see you, and I'm friendly." That small gesture plants a seed in their mind. Later, they'll feel comfortable approaching you because you already acknowledged them. I tested this at a bookstore, instead of hiding behind shelves like usual. "Yo, bro, let me get your Insta RQ?" "Sure, bro." I walked in, looked around naturally, made quick eye contact with a few people, and smiled slightly. Within 10 minutes, someone asked me about the book. That had never happened before. The difference? I stopped being invisible on purpose. You got good taste, thanks, Red. The body language mistake. Now let's talk about what happens after those first 3 seconds. Because even if you nail the entrance, you can ruin everything with your body. I learned this the hard way at a workshop. The instructor asked me to stand in front of everyone. I stood how I always did, hands in pockets, shoulders slightly forward, weight on one leg. Then he asked the group what they thought of me.
Looks great.
The answers hurt, closed off, nervous, doesn't want to be bothered. I wasn't trying to look that way. However, my body was telling a story I didn't mean to tell. The instructor showed me something simple. He said, "Take your hands out of your pockets. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides. Pull your shoulders back just a little, not stiff, just open. Take a breath and relax your face." I did it. How about now? More approachable.
Confident.
Like a different person. Like a different person. Here's what I realized. Your body talks before your mouth does. If your arms are crossed, you look defensive.
But when your body is open and relaxed, people read you as safe and welcoming. They feel like they can approach you without being rejected.
Therefore, they do. After that workshop, I started paying attention to my posture everywhere. In cafes, I'd sit with my chest open, arms visible, shoulders relaxed. At events, I'd stand with my weight balanced, not leaning against walls or hiding in corners. Shoulders relaxed. At events, I'd stand with my weight balanced, not leaning against walls or hiding in corners. All because my body stopped pushing them away. The curiosity secret. Now here's where it gets interesting. Once someone does approach you, or once you decide to start a conversation, there's a secret weapon that makes people instantly like you. It's not being funny or interesting. It's being curious about them. Most people think they need to have great stories or clever things to say. Therefore, they prepare talking points. However, that's the wrong approach. Magnetic people do the opposite. They ask questions, real questions, not interview questions, not surface-level stuff like, "What do you do?" They ask things that show genuine interest. Here's an example.
What brought you here tonight? Oh, there's this art project my friends and I have to cram tonight. Oh, there's this art project my friends and I have to cram tonight. It's due tomorrow 1 p.m. and we haven't finished it yet. What's the hardest part about that?
His whole face lit up. He said, "Finally, someone who actually gets it." We talked for an hour. He asked for my contact info before leaving. Why? Because I made him feel heard. I made him feel important. And people are drawn to anyone who makes them feel that way. Here's the trick. When you're genuinely curious, you don't have to perform. You don't have to be the smartest or funniest person in the room. You just have to care about what the other person is saying. Ask follow-up questions. Nod. React naturally. Let them talk. People will remember you not because of what you said, but because of how you made them feel. If this is hitting home, hit the like button. The silence power. This next one surprised me more than anything. I used to think that to be magnetic, you had to fill every silence. You had to keep talking, keep entertaining, keep proving you were worth someone's time. However, I discovered the opposite is true. Magnetic people are comfortable with silence. They don't panic when a conversation pauses. They don't rush to fill empty space with nervous chatter. They just exist calmly, and somehow that makes people want to talk to them even more. I tested this at a library. I sat reading quietly, not forcing anything, not looking around desperately for someone to notice me. I was just present, calm.
Slightly smiling because I was enjoying my book. A woman sat down nearby. A few minutes later, she leaned over and said,
"Is that book good? I've been thinking about reading it." I didn't do anything to make her talk to me. However, my comfortable silence made me seem approachable. Not needy or desperate. There's something magnetic about someone who doesn't need attention, but is open to connection. Here's why this works. When you're comfortable with yourself, people sense it. They don't feel pressure around you. They don't worry about awkwardness or having to entertain you. Therefore, they relax, and relaxed people are open people. So next time you're somewhere public, try this. Put your phone away. Sit comfortably. Don't look around anxiously. Just be present. With a slight natural expression on your face, like you're content, you'll be amazed how many people will suddenly find a reason to talk to you. The ultimate technique. Now here's the final piece, the one that ties everything together. The technique that makes all the others work even better. It's this. Stop waiting for people to validate you. Here's what I mean. Most people who feel invisible are actually stuck in a loop. They walk into a room hoping someone will notice them. They stand there waiting for someone to approach them. They measure their worth by whether others choose to talk that. However, magnetic people flip the script. They walk in assuming they belong. They don't wait for permission to exist in the space. They don't need external validation to feel okay. Therefore, they radiate a different energy. An energy that says, "I'm fine." That energy is what makes people curious. That energy is what draws them in. When you stop needing attention, you start attracting it. When you stop performing for approval, people actually want to give it to you. It's the strangest paradox. But it's true. So here's what you do. Walk into your next social situation with this mindset. I'm here to enjoy myself, to be present, to connect if it happens naturally. But I don't need anyone's approval to feel good about being here. Because the moment you stop chasing attention is the moment everyone starts noticing you.